beautiful beaders, it's Gina from Orchid and Opal.com, and I'm back today with some finished pieces. This time these are inspired by those random Boss's bead bags from Fire Mountain Gems. If you've been around my channel for a little while, over the past month or two, I shared 3 of those Boss's bead bags with you, mainly because I was asked by several different people to share them on my channel. A lot of people were curious about what was inside, so it was a great experiment to show you 3 different ones just to see what the contents were. Now, a lot of you thought they were awesome for $5 when they go on sale. You just never know what you're gonna get, and they come in a jumbled mess, so it's kind of fun to sort through them if you like that sort of thing. If you don't, it's kind of a nightmare for you. But anyway, I wanted to come back and share some pieces because I think it's easy to have a knee-jerk reaction when you look at a bag of random beads and just assume that it's all unusable. Well, none of them match. There's a lot of junk in there. This is a total waste. You know, I mean, it's easy to think that, and I can definitely understand that. And for sure, they're not for everybody. But first of all, I wanted to address the wooden beads. So I had received quite a few wooden beads in the 3 Bosses bead bags. I ended up sorting them by color, and I did find that I had a lot of duplicates of the wooden beads, and at first I was kind of like, well, I'll just give these to my son. He can play around with them, he can use them for arts and crafts and things like that. But then I was like, you know what, let me just experiment with them. Let me not write these off right away and try them out in some jewelry. And I think they actually look pretty cool and earthy, especially depending on how you use them. So as you can see, I used these brown ones here that look like this alongside these gemstone beads. These are calsilica jasper, I believe, but they're very earthy looking with the turquoise and brown. I also paired it with some of this brown suede cord, which is also kind of that more casual, earthy look. And then a lot of these Tibetan silver toned bead caps and spacers and things like that. Overall, I think it has kind of a Western look to it, and I think it really works. So while these pieces are not 100% from the Boss's bead bag that I'm going to show you today, of course, I did want to try to share with you guys a few ideas about how you could use some of these beads, particularly the wooden beads, and then what to do with the other just random glass beads that may have been included. And hopefully it'll inspire you guys to give some things a second look and maybe use it as a jumping off point in your own jewelry making. Maybe you have some of these things lying around already. So that was just one idea to show you how you can really elevate the look of these wooden beads, depending on what you mix them with and how you use them. And this was just a little bracelet I made to go along with that necklace, and I think it came out pretty cute as well. Here's one more look at the set. So I did use these little round findings I had gotten from a previous subscription box about a year ago. I just attached the 2 strands in these little openings here. This is suede cord that I had gotten from bbcraft.com. Just used some of these little crimping cord ends there on the back, some stainless steel findings and chain for an extender. These beautiful jasper beads were sent to me by one of my awesome viewers that I had shared previously in a Happy Mail video, and then other Tibetan silver findings and things from my stash. Next up, I want to show you 2 pieces that I made, also using some wooden beads as spacers and impression jaspers. So this is the first one I want to show you with the impression jasper, which is this here. I'd gotten these in a mix from my local Michael's store, but these little beads right here, not the green ones, but these turquoise and blue ones, they actually came from the Boss's bead bag, so they are just colorful little wooden beads, but don't they look cute as little spacers? I really wanted to play with color in this necklace, so that's why I brought in that beautiful blue suede cord that goes so well with the impression jasper, and then I just kind of did a little ombre effect, going from the blue to the green in the center. These little rings I had gotten about a year ago off of eBay, and again, just added some spacers and things from my stash. And again, I just wanted to point out how much I really like the wooden beads along with these gemstones, especially the rugged gemstones. They have kind of that rugged cut to them and the veining through them. And I also like how well they go with suede cord. Just seems like a really good combination. So here's another necklace I made using impression jasper, and this pendant set had also just come from my local Michael's, and I kind of graduated it slightly by size, although they were very similar. But as you can see, I used some of these really light colored wooden beads as spacers to go with that because the color was kind of perfect for this light color that shows up in the veining in between the hot pink. And then I thought the gold really set it off nicely, just looks very summery to me. And then these are also a couple of hot pink wooden beads that came from the Boss's bead bag. So again, just adding some bead caps on either side, it really elevates them a lot. And then putting them with some of these gemstone beads that you might not expect. And then these were just some agate beads that I had in my stash as well. I loved how the hot pink kind of went with the impression jasper there, so I just added some extra color going up. And yes, I am going to add some crimp covers over those crimp beads. But I was really happy with how this came out as well. I think it could be really cute in the summer with that bright hot pink and the gold, especially depending on what you pair it with. Some kind of a summery dress really makes a statement. So the next 4 necklaces that I have to share with you guys today are just some further examples of what you can do with random beads. And this isn't just a Boss's bead bag thing. All beaders are going to end up at some point with a collection of random beads that you have left over that you don't know what to do with. This was an idea I'd gotten. I was inspired by an image that I had seen on Pinterest. It was actually quite a bit longer than this, but it was the same general idea where the necklace was just random beads that were linked together with some wire and wire wrap loops. And as you can see, all these beads are different, they're all different colors, but it really works. And in the picture I had seen, it was a very long necklace that you could either wrap around a couple times or just wear really long. I ran out of the wire that I was using in this project, so I just decided to do a 1-strander, but it's the same general idea. You also don't have to do a rainbow of colors like this. You could do just blues and greens or blacks and whites, for example. Really play with color. And you'll find that it really doesn't matter if the beads match exactly or not, because it's the color choices or the sizes. You can see I went with all similar sized beads. That's what works. And that's the element that kind of pulls it all together. Also using the same wire and the same technique. It pulls it all together. This is actually the bag of beads that I used to start out this project. I dumped them out. And because I'm the type of person that doesn't mind doing that kind of thing, it doesn't drive me crazy. I love being able to come up with things like this out of something chaotic. But I'd already sorted the beads kind of by size. They were all pretty similar, and I just picked out ones that I liked that I thought would look nice on this necklace. And everything's just all contained in a little bag. It's not a big deal. And because I'm done with this project, and I personally don't need a bag like this of random beads, I can easily donate this little bag. I can give it to a child to play around with, or as some commenter suggested, maybe your local art teachers would love to have something like this. But just an idea to get you thinking that you can actually make usable jewelry out of a bag of beads that looks like this. So next I had sorted my bag of larger glass beads and random beads like this. I put them out on my bead board, and I'm going to try to include a picture because I do think I took a picture of that process, and I pulled out what I felt was the most usable and just organized them that way to come up with these other 3 ideas. So here's the first one that I came up with after sorting out those larger beads by color. I had a collection of white and grays and also these blacks, and I wanted to make something using 3 of those tones, also some clear. And as you can see, pretty much all these beads are different. There may be a couple here and there that are the same, but it actually works because of the way that the color is used and the way that the spacer beads are all the same and the way that the sizes of these beads are similar and also kind of graduated at the back here, getting a little bit smaller. I also grouped all colors pretty much in groups of 3. As you can see, there's 3 in the whitish tone here, 3 in the black tone, 3 in the clear, 3 in the gray, and so on. That adds a little bit of consistency in the chaos. It also makes it look a little bit more purposeful, and it works, I think. So don't be afraid to try some things like that to make something usable out of what you may automatically think are unusable beads. So here's the next one I made. I pulled out all of my blue and greenish tone beads. I did have some of these that were the same, so I decided to work with what I had. and use those toward the back of the necklace and add some symmetry that way. And then I had randomly two of these oval shapes that were similar. They're not even exactly the same, but because the shape is so similar, it works and it pulls both the green and the turquoise color together. So I put those there and used those as the beads that I gathered all the strands into. Then I just randomly strung 2 strands of the green and blue beads, those larger glass sizes with the same stainless steel spacer in between them. And to bulk it up a little bit, I made my own little seed bead mix out of coordinating colors and added 3 strands of those. I could have left the strands just loose and flowing. I decided to braid it to give it a kind of a chunky, purposeful, messy look. So that's what I did, but you know, you could also just leave them loose in a 5-strand type of necklace where all the strands get gathered up through here. And then I just used some little cord ends back here to gather those up. And again, I will finish that up with the little crimp covers. I just wanted to get this video out as soon as I could. So really use color to your advantage. And here's the final necklace I have to share with you guys today. Again, coming out of a bag of randomness just like this, I pulled out my reds and my ambers and browns, and I made a little strand of beads to go along the bottom of this. I added a little asymmetrical detail with this feather. I had gotten this finding on eBay, I believe. And I thought they looked nice with the antique brass colored findings. Just added again the same spacers in between there to add a little bit of a repeating pattern in between all of these random beads that don't match. And then I guess I've just been on a little bit of a suede cord kick lately, maybe because it's warmer and suede just reminds me more of summertime. But I took this reddish color here that coordinated pretty well and I just braided it. I took 3 strands and braided them and just finished those off with these little crimp ends here, and found one of these hook and eye clasp in my stash and added that on the back. So I thought this was just a fun little exercise for me to share with you guys about how I was inspired by what looks like some bags of junky beads or unusable things, and how you can find ways to use things like that. Not saying you have to, but I think all beaders, regardless of getting a boss's bead bag or not, are going to end up with a lot of random beads. So maybe this helps you think of some other ideas. Maybe this is a jumping off point for you and it inspired you to think of something even different. I really appreciate you guys being with me today for another finished jewelry update. I will have much more to share with you in the future. My moving process is going along really smoothly, but as you know, it is so much work. But I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and have a lot more things I'm excited about down the road that I can't wait to share with you guys. So all that said, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. I always love to hear from you. Don't forget, I do have that $100 Amazon giveaway going on through Friday, so don't forget to enter that if you haven't already. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, happy beading! If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. Check out the information section under the video for links to my social media handles and other helpful info, and feel free to check out my shop at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching!